For most people, choosing a name is difficult, but there are certain factors to consider when doing so. This is my red reply, and I believe we are all aware of the significance of a name. For some people, picking a name is fun and an interesting task, but for the average person it's more challenging. Finding the perfect name isn't as simple as it appears, and achieving that goal may take a long time. In this video, we'll explore the art and science of naming. We'll look at why naming is such an interesting procedure, as well as some of the most amazing names ever given to individuals and things. There are a few different schools of thought when it comes to naming things and people. Some believe that there is a science to it, that there are certain factors you can consider in order to come up with the perfect name. Others believe that it's more art than anything else, that it's more about intuition and feeling. And still others believe that it's a little bit of both, that it's a mix of science and art. There are certain factors you can consider when picking a name. For example, you might want to think about how the name sounds, how it looks, how it feels, or even what it means. Or you might want to consider the person or thing's history, or where it comes from. A name is important because it tells us who someone is, without them having to do anything but show up. It's a part of our identity as humans, not just on a personal level but also culturally, politically, and historically. A name tells us a lot about a person or a thing. A name tells us a lot about a person or a thing. It can tell us where they come from, what they're like, and also their history. Names are important because they give us information without us having to ask for it. They're like a shortcut to getting to know someone or something. Some interesting and unique people with unusual names in history include Letha. This girl's name means forgetful according to some sources. Alternatively, it might be a short version of Aletheia, which comes from the Greek meaning for truth. Kermit. This boy's name hasn't always been associated with the frog. It comes from the Irish surname McDermott, which means son of dye or maid. Myrtle. This girl's name comes from the plant. You have probably heard of it from the character Moaning Myrtle in the Harry Potter books, but despite the publicity for the name, it's hardly used today. Here are some interesting names for things. Perlicue. The space between the thumb and forefingers. Vagitus. The cry of a newborn baby. Ullage. The empty space between the bottle top and the liquid is an ullage. When it comes to naming something or someone, there are a few things that we take into account. One of the most important factors is whether or not the name is easy to say and remember. We also want to make sure that the name is unique and doesn't already have another meaning. Finally, we want the name to be aesthetically pleasing and sound good when it's spoken aloud. There is no one formula for picking the perfect name, but there are a few things to keep in mind when choosing one. It's important to find a name that reflects the personality of the thing or person, and that is also easy to say and remember. Picking a unique name can distinguish the thing or person from its peers, but it should also be appropriate to the thing itself. Naming people and things isn't easy. It's a fine line between clever and conceited, unique and off-putting. The right name makes the person and thing memorable. It's also important to pick a name that sticks with the person or thing throughout its existence rather than one that is temporary. The right name makes the person or thing memorable. Whether you're naming something new, like an idea for your business, or looking for inspiration when it comes time to give someone their own personal identity, take some time beforehand to think about what qualities you want in a name. And remember, sometimes simplicity is key. That's all. I hope you liked it and look forward to your comments. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for further videos. And thank you for taking the time.